Hi and welcome to Play Hooky with me. My name is Roz, and in today's video I'm going to share how to make this really pretty stitch called the flat braid join. I've also heard it referred to as the scallop join, but either way it's easy to do and gives a lovely lacy effect when you're joining your squares together. This is a companion video to another I made recently on how to make the granny squares that you see here. If you missed that and you're interested in this pattern, I'll go ahead and add a link here as well as in the description box below the video. In this tutorial today, I'm going to be joining the first 4 together, and then once you've seen those done, you should be able to do the complete blanket on your own. This is a really easy join as you go technique. We're just going to be working with single crochets and chains. And speaking of chain counts, for my chain count, I'm going to be using a 4 for this tutorial. If you want your squares to be a little bit tighter together, I would recommend a chain 3. And if you want it to be lacier than you see here, then I would recommend a chain 5. But I found chain 4 was the sweet spot for mine, and that's what we're going to do here today. So to begin with square 1, we're going to do the edging all the way around all 4 sides of the first square. You can fasten on however you like. We're going to begin on the side. I'm going to start in this middle space right here. What I like to do is create a slip knot on my hook. And by doing that, I can actually do a single crochet to begin. I'm going to go into that center space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's my very first single crochet. Now if you like to fasten on in a different way, go ahead and fasten on and chain 1, and that will serve as your first single crochet. So I've created my first single crochet, and now I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Working into the next space, single crochet. We're coming to our first corner. Go ahead and chain 4. And going into that corner, single crochet. And then again with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And within that same space in the corner, create another single crochet. Okay, that's your first corner completed. And now we're just going to continue on with that sequence. Chain 4, single crochet into the side space, chain 4, single crochet into the side space, chain 4, single crochet into the side space, chain 4, and we're back to a corner, single crochet, chain 4, and in that same corner space, another single crochet. And take care of this, because if you're not careful on this very first square, it's very easy to miss that and just go around and do one single crochet. I've done that many times. So double check before you move on that you did create a corner, and then continue on all the way around. To finish, do a slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet and fasten off. One thing I like to do, instead of doing a little knot, I just go ahead and tie these 2 ends together and then weave them in. To start the second square, I'm just going to put the first one we made to the top, and I'm going to bring the new one down below it. A little tip here, my preference is to join as soon as possible. So what I like to do is get into this little space here right before the corner to fasten on, and then get right into that very first corner of the previous square. So fasten on however you like best. I'm going to do the single crochet fastening on, and going into that space right before that corner, I'm going to do my standing single crochet. And now repeat the same sequence as before, chain 4. So getting ready to join here, I'm going to start the corner as normal with my single crochet. To work my corner, I'm still going to do a chain 4, but halfway through, I'm going to slip stitch into the corner from before. So I like to go chain 2, and then I'm going to add a slip stitch. So working into the top of that previous corner, catch the yarn, and pull it through to make a slip stitch. Now this is the way I like to do it, but if you find this a bit fiddly, you can always do it in a different way. Come back out. Okay, and we've just finished our chain 2, and instead of doing the slip stitch like I just showed you, you can pull your hook out of the loop, go into the corner above, or wherever you want to join, and then pull the loop through, and then continue on. So at this point, I would finish this corner with the other chain 2, 1, 2, and then go in with my other single crochet to finish the corner. It's completely up to you which way you decide to do it, but I would do my best to stay as consistent with it as possible because it does change the look ever so slightly. This is going to give more of a braided effect, where the slip stitch that I showed you before gives more of a scalloped effect or chain effect. Now it's time to join the rest of the side to the previous square. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, chain 2, slip stitch into the top chain space. And again, you can do the other way if you like. I'm just going to do this because I'm used to it. Chain 2. And now coming back to the square that we're working on, create your single crochet as normal. Okay, so you have something that looks like this. And all we're going to do is continue this all the way across. Chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, and then connect to the next space. And so on until we get back to the next corner. So chain 2, 1, 2, then join however you like best, either a slip stitch like I'm doing here, or taking the loop off your hook and then just pulling it through. Let me show you that again. Just pull it out, go in, pull the loop through, and chain 2. And then coming back to the next space, single crochet. Chain 2, making sure to go into the next chain sequence there. I'm just going to do it as a slip stitch, and then chain 2. Okay, I've attached to that side, chain 2, and now I'm back to a corner, so a single crochet, chain 2, and then going into that corner, do your slip stitch to join, and chain 2. Going right back into that corner with a single crochet, and we're good. And now it's just time to finish the square as you normally would with your chain 4s and single crochets. And fasten off. Okay, now we're ready for square 3. And again, I'm just moving the finished ones to the top so they're above me, and then I'm bringing in the new square to be right underneath. Because I'm right-handed, this is really comfortable for me. And again, I'm just going to fasten on here in the space right before a corner and join as soon as possible. So I'm doing my typical single crochet to begin. Chain 4. Working a single crochet in that first corner, chain 2, that's half of my 4, joining into the corner above, chain 2, and single crochet back into the corner that we're working in. I'm just going to continue working off camera, and then I'll meet you here at this little intersection. I'm coming close to the corner here. I've just done a chain 2 secured to that chain 4 above, getting ready to do another chain 2 before I reach that corner. Okay, single crochet. And the best way to join these, I've found, is to work on the diagonal. So I'm going to join this square to this square, and then when I work on the 4th square, I'm going to do the same thing. Join this square to the diagonal square above. That way you're going to get a really nice secure join that crisscrosses over each other. So just as before, I'm doing a chain 4, but halfway through I'm slip stitching. So chain 2. And going into the square on the diagonal, I do my slip stitch. Okay, chain 2, and continue on with a single crochet in the corner. And what I like to do is I like to shift these joins as tight and close together as I can, because that gives the really pretty flowered kind of look in the center. It just makes it nice and neat and tidy as well. And now just continue on, finishing that square as you normally would. And now we're ready for square 4. And so I'm just going to shift everything like this, because I like working on the right-hand side. And bringing in my new square. And you know the drill. We're going to fasten on here right before the corner. Single crochet into that corner. Chain 2. Slip stitch into the corner. Chain 2. Okay. I'm just going to continue on, and I'll meet you in the center. Coming up to my corner, I've just done my attachment right before the corner, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, and now I'm ready to go into that corner with a single crochet. And now with my chain 4, I'm going to divide it up, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2, and just like before, I'm going to go into the diagonal space here on the opposite or diagonal square. 1, 2, going right across. This is fiddly, be patient. And then don't worry about it too much. If it's just getting a little bit stretched out, you can pull everything together in just a second. Chain 2, and then back into that corner with your single crochet. Okay. And like before, I just try to make sure everything's kind of in the middle. And we're looking good. And that's going to give you a really nice secure join. Chain 2. And then secure with a slip stitch. And continue on. And here you can see on the 4th square we have 2 sides that we need to join. So just continue on with your system of your chains and your slip stitches. Corner. chain 2, going into that corner, chain 2, and back to 4. It's kind of easy to accidentally go to just a chain 2 when you get back to the side, so just remember you're doing chain 4s completely when you're on the non-joining sides. And we're done. And then to continue on with more squares, I would just recommend doing the same thing as we've been doing. Just move everything above and start, if you're right-handed, start on the bottom right, and if you're left-handed, start on the bottom left. So it doesn't really matter which way you're going. If you're trying to work on the width, you'll just mentally picture which way you want to go, and then just move everything into position to get to work. I hope you enjoy this technique as much as I do. I'm really excited with how this blanket is turning out, and I'll be sure to do a video to show you the completed one when it's all finished.